Every 2 minutes, someone is sexually assaulted in the United States, and many of these crimes go unreported. A new film called Be the Change addresses this epidemic, and it's starting the conversation on how to end it.
I'm a freshman. I've been on this campus for 2 weeks, and I was sexually assaulted 6 days ago. And no one tells you where to go from there.
Most people can't comprehend the trauma of sexual assault, but Rosemary Trible understands. She survived a rape at gunpoint. Her Emmy Award-winning documentary, Be the Change, teaches students about the risks of sexual assault on campus and challenges universities to make campuses safe for everyone.
Well, Rosemary Trible is here with us now, and we welcome you back to the 700 Club.
It's wonderful to be with you.
It was mentioned in that piece that you have a heart for this. Many people do, but you have a reason to have a heart. You've been a victim yourself.
That's true, and I think that's where my passion comes, to be a voice for the voiceless. It was back in 1975, and I had a television talk show in Richmond and did a show on sexual assault that a rapist saw, and 4 days later he put a gun to my head and said, "Okay, cute talk show host, what do you do with a gun in your head?" And Terry, I'd never thought about that. And after a night of horror, again with that gun in my temple, he said, "I know who you are, I know where you live, and I'll kill you if you tell." And that's the dagger of fear that anyone that goes through that's almost worse than the pain. I always said what was meant for evil has been used for good in my life. I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't gone through that. And I always say he not only tore my body, but he stole my joy. And I wear a little joy pin every day to remind me and to remind other victims that may be listening today that you too can find your joy.
Yeah, you get to choose. One of the other reasons you're here today is because you chose to tell someone what happened, and yet so many victims don't. Why?
Silence is the greatest enemy of healing. And I finally came to the point, actually after a church service, and the pastor said, "What if you didn't have to be so afraid? And what if you could help someone else not be so afraid?" So I wrote the book, and then I realized the amount of pain and began being the founder and president of Fear and the number 2 Freedom. As you said, every 2 minutes someone's sexually assaulted. But even harder, they say 1 in 5 college students will be assaulted in their 4 years in college, and 1 in 16 men, which a lot of people don't even think of the men that are assaulted.
20 years ago, you met Mother Teresa, and it was life-changing. Tell us what happened.
It was 1997, and I had an opportunity to be with her. I knelt at her wheelchair, and she held my hands in hers. Hers was weathered with all the love. And literally, it was like looking into the eyes of Jesus, like looking into the eyes of liquid love. And she told me about their work, but then she said this. I said, "Why do you do this, and how can you do this with so much pain?" And she said, "We're not called to be successful, but faithful." And then I said, "What can I do?" And I love this. She said, "Go home, Rosemary, and love the person in front of you. Go home and do what's right in front of you." And Terry, that was the inspiration of starting our nonprofit.
That's true for most of us. You know, we sort of have this mindset that you have to travel to some other part of the world, but really right in front of us is usually a field ripe unto harvest. Your program is called Fear to Freedom. What's the significance of the name?
Well, it is the number 2 because every 2 minutes someone's sexually assaulted. But what we want to do is help victims move from fear to freedom in their lives, and that journey that I went through.
It is a journey, isn't it?
It is a journey of healing. And so what we do is we put together these Fear to Freedom kits that have sweatpants and t-shirt and underwear and toiletries. They don't know when they go to the hospital for the perk exam, all their clothes are kept for evidence. And in our country, in our hospitals, so many victims walk out in paper scrubs. So we offer all of these things, toiletries so they can take a shower, and the universities partner with the hospitals, assemble the kits, and then they sit down and write a personal note to that victim. And that is a powerful moment, both for the victim and for the student. And then they are told about this little freedom bear, and they would give it to the victim, the forensic nurse, and say, "He has a backpack. Take out a little piece of paper, write someone that's hurt you, and then you open up his heart, put it inside, close it up, and as you feel a little stronger, you take it out and put it in water. It's dissolving paper. So first the words disappear, and then the whole paper disappears, and it's a symbol that they don't have to stay stuck as a victim. So it's an important tool, and now we have a national campaign we're reaching out to. With this program, we're in 18 universities and 30 hospitals and community groups.
Wow.
And in the last 3 years, we have delivered to victims 13,000 of these kits. And now spreading out nationally to a program that we hope will reach 400 universities across this country.
I hope so too. It's so beautifully done. You've always had wonderful packaging, thoughtful content. Now you have a film involved in all of this called Be the Change. Tell us about the film.
Yes, we began this program that's a sexual assault program and resources toolkit that helps universities with their Title IX requirements. It helps them combat sexual assault. It is a prevention, intervention, and awareness program. But the feature of it is a 30-minute film called Be the Change. And I'm very excited to say
You won an Emmy.
that it actually a month or so ago won this Emmy as Outstanding Educational Film. We really hope that those watching might talk to their universities about this program and see how the film could be used. It gives program for a university to consider for an entire year, because we need to talk about this issue not just once to freshman orientation, but to Greek life, to athletics, to staff and administration. And this film is the perfect 30 minutes. It's very powerful, but everything we do lifts someone up and really helps them, like the Lord asked us to move from darkness to light. And that's what we want to do. We want to redeem and restore those sexually assaulted, bringing them hope and healing with this. But we really want to change the cultural understanding on these college campuses. And we believe that this program, it has discussion groups, it has another empowering film, it has a pledge that the university president can challenge them to be the change. And then they have a little resource card that they can carry in their pocket with that pledge, and also the information, where do they go for finding out their police, their counseling. So we really want to empower these universities to be able to change the cultural understanding, and the university presidents start with them, but it is the students up that can really change that culture.
Well, and maybe one of the most significant things it does is cause you to contemplate the issue, which can be lost in the day-to-day shuffle of life and the busyness of everything that's going on. So you have lots of layers of awareness and also response to all of this. And it involves both the female and the male on the college campus and wherever you might be. So if you'd like more information on Be the Change program or Fear to Freedom, all you have to do is log on to cbn.com. And we want you to know, if you have been the victim of abuse in your past and you need someone to talk to, give us a call. We have someone standing by the phones ready to pray with you. Our number is toll-free. Anyone can call. You don't even have to tell us who you are. It's 1-800-700-7000. That's a toll-free call. Want to mention also that Rosemary has a wonderful book called Fear to Freedom. What if you did not have to be so afraid? Boy, that impacts your life in many, many areas. Thank you, Rosemary.
Thank
it's
you.
A treat to have
I
you
appreciate that. And I think the encouragement of the book is that God not only redeemed me through the power of forgiveness, but 22 years after I was sexually assaulted, I found that He redeemed the man that assaulted me.
Praise the Lord.
And so you don't have to stay stuck that victim. And I pray that each one of you that may be listening, if you know someone, if you yourself has been affected, please know that you can find that joy again, and that you can find that hope and that healing that is so important through the Lord to make a difference in your life.
Thank you. Great to have you with us. And
Wonderful
we wish
to
you
be
the best
with you.
with all
Thank
of
you
this.
so much.
Thank you.